So is this working? Yeah, you can hear me. So good morning, everybody. If we can just change the slideshow over. So TOTT. Anyone know what that is? What? No. Dirk. Thinking on these things, right? Think on these things, okay? Actually, I gave the title like that so that the person that was doing the MC wouldn't be able to give another sermon, right? Okay? Because sometimes you get two sermons in one. So anyway, I thought if I put that, no one will understand what the heck it is. You won't get a second sermon. But someone understands. Anyway, that's good, Dirk. How do you know that? All right, no, I gave you the slideshow, right? Okay, fine, right, okay. So no, that's why he knows. Okay, so yeah, think on these things, right? That implies there's more than one. So actually, I've got a few messages within one, but they're all short. I've got a couple of readings, first of all. One from the Bible. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, humility, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. And from the Chonsong-gyong, heaven is a place we cannot enter without establishing relationships of heart. It is the original nation, the nation of the original nature which can govern everything. It cannot belong to you based on personal feelings. Rather, it is based on deeply felt bonds of heart. Ultimately, it is where we communicate on the level of heart rather than on personal sentiments. So, recently, it was my 30th anniversary. Why are you laughing? You're laughing at my... Anyway, so to thank my beloved, we went away on a thank you for putting up with me tour. Right, okay? For 30 years, right, okay? And we took a city break and we went to a castle. And in the castle, there was one of those. Can anyone tell me what that is? No, it's not a steps, it's not a theatre. Anyone know what that is? Okay, so it's basically a place where you can hear yourself speak. Right, so when you face that direction away, the sound comes back to you. So you can actually hear your own voice. So normally when you give a sermon, you don't actually hear what you're saying because your voice is kind of going out and your ears don't pick it up. But when you listen back to yourself in a recording, it sounds very different. And also you can learn. So if you video yourself or you tape yourself and you play it back, you actually think, well, actually, that wasn't really the best thing to say. Or anyway, the king at the time, he realized he wasn't very good at public speaking. And he built this to help him practice. And he would get up there every day and he would listen to himself. But no one else can hear you. You're just kind of in this zone and you just hear what you're saying. But no one else can hear it. So he used to practice every day, and because of that, his ability got better. He was also very interested in timing, right? So apart from timing, he also had a table with these things, right? Right, sand clocks, right, for 1 minute, right, okay, and he had one for 3 minutes, like that, and then he had one for 5 minutes, like that, and depending on what he was going to talk about, he would use different sand clocks, right, and if it was, just to his servants at the beginning of the day, he used to time it at 1 minute, right, if it was giving to the military, he would use 3 minutes, right, if it was to Parliament, he would use 5 minutes. If it was something really important, maybe he'd go up to like 15 minutes. And a maximum, a coronation would be 30 minutes, right? Okay? So, anyway, that's why TED Talks are so popular, right? Because they're short and concise. He realized that, right? People have a limit what they can take, right? And it's short, it's concise, the message is concise. So, I'm going to give you a choice today, right? Which one you want, right? Okay? You can either have the 30-minute one, right? You can have the 15-minute one, or the 10-minute one, or the 1-minute one, right? Okay? Who wants the 1-minute one message? Oh, Clive, right? Okay, right, okay. All right, bit difficult. 10 minutes. Anyone 10 minutes? Oh, all right, you've got to get in the kitchen, have you? Right? Right, okay, right, okay. 15 minutes? Sounds about right, okay? 30 minutes? Well, a lot of people want the 30 minutes. Anyone, sometimes, if it was really important, he would finish one, and then he would start the next one, right, okay? Right, okay? So you could get 45, anyone want the 45-minute one? No, right, okay. And also, what he really realized was, in conclusion, never, when you say in conclusion, turn the 15-minute timer. Because in conclusion means like 2 minutes, right, okay? So, anyway, I will try with the 15-minute one. And I might have to go to the 5-minute one as well. Shizuko, you can clock watch for me, right, okay? No, there, right. Yeah, I know. I knew you would know that. Right, okay, so I've had 5 minutes already, but I've got another 15, right? So that would be 20, right? Okay, so in the news, think of these things. Anyone recognize this picture recently? Right, it was in the news. So I'm going to read this news broadcast. It said, when a group of tourists visited a crocodile farm in Thailand, the owner of the place launched a daring proposal. He said, whoever dares jump in from that thing and swims to the shore, I will give $1 million, right, okay? And you've got to survive to pick up the $1 million, right, okay? So anyway, at that point, everyone was kind of like looking around, nobody dared move, you know, and the clock ticked down, 59, 58, and they're all looking at each other, wondering if anyone was going to do it. The atmosphere became tenser and tenser. And then suddenly, with about 5 seconds to go, this man jumps in and he swims like crazy to the shore with all the crocodiles chasing him. He jumps out and he survived. And the guy was like, really? Okay, here's a check. And he wrote out a check for $1 million. And everyone applauded him. He went back to the hotel. And the hotel manager said to him, he said, you know, he does that every time someone goes to visit his crocodile farm. And in 15 years, no one has ever taken up the challenge. So he said, you know, you're amazing. And he said, you're the first person to take up that challenge in 15 years. He said, I didn't jump, I was pushed. His wife smiled. So, the moral of the story is that behind every successful man is a woman who pushes him, right, okay? And also the other way around, right, okay? Behind every successful man is a man that pushes him. Okay, so that's the first one. That's not bad, right, okay. So, second one, that wasn't in the news, right, okay? Right, okay. Anyone recognize that violin player? Who? Who is it? Yeah, that's amazing. How do you know that? You know music. Okay, right, okay. That is Joshua Bell. Who is he? Yeah, he's one of the most famous, he's probably the most famous violinist in the world. And recently, he actually conducted a social experiment. And again, I'll read this. So, a violinist played for 45 minutes in a New York subway. A handful of people stopped, and a couple clapped, and a violinist managed to raise about $30 in tips. No one knew this, but the violinist that was in the subway was Joshua Bell, one of the best musicians in the world. He was playing one of the most intricate pieces ever written with a violin worth $3.5 million. 2 days later, before he played in the subway, he played out to a sold-out theater in Boston with over 3,000 seats sold out at about $100 a seat. The experiment proved that the extraordinary in an ordinary environment does not shine and is so often overlooked and undervalued. There are brilliantly talented people everywhere who aren't receiving the recognition and the reward they deserve. But once they arm themselves with value and confidence and remove themselves from an environment that isn't serving them, they will thrive and grow. If your gut is telling you something, listen to it. If it's telling you that where you are isn't enough, go where you are appreciated and valued and know your worth. Okay. Second point, right? So that's not bad, is it? Right? We're doing well, right? The third one takes a little bit longer, right? Okay. So For those that don't know, and as Andrew was pointing out, if you don't know me, I'm a professional magician, which actually means I get paid for what I do, right? People pay me, right? Rather surprisingly, but they do, right? Okay? So, anyway, the other day, I was talking to a group of magicians in South London Magic Society, and we had a meeting, and afterwards we were talking, and we were talking about what does it mean when someone comes up to you after you've done a show, and they say, well done, right? Well done, right? Okay? And we were talking about it, and we thought, or we concluded, that it could mean one of four things. First of all, they could be being polite, right? And they're saying, well done, huh? Good show. But actually, maybe when they go and talk to their partner afterwards, they could actually, he was awful, right? But they don't know really what else to say to you. And so they're just being nice to you and, you know, like, well done, really was awful, right? Okay? And actually, they like I say, so they want to say something positive to you. But maybe it's not necessarily true. Maybe it was just kind of like a little white lie. But like I say, they don't really know what else to say to you. So that's one thing that they could be saying well done to you for. The second thing they could be saying well done for you is for maybe not dropping the cards, right? Okay, or making a complete flop of it. But it could be also for well done for fooling me, because I have no idea how that was done, right? But how do they know whether it was well done or not? They know binary, like fooled me or didn't fool me, fooled me or didn't fool me. But actually, they don't know if it was well done or not, right? Actually, it might have been done really badly, but I still fooled them. And so fooled me or fooled me. They don't actually really know, like I say, if it was well done or not. And it's like asking me to give a review of a ballet, right? I might go to a ballet and have a look at it and say, well, actually, she jumped very well, right? She did a nice kind of like this kind of thing, right? Okay? I've got no idea if it was well done or not, because I'm not that person to kind of say well done or not. The other thing, third point, is it could be, and much less likely, is well done to the person that developed that trick, because it was an awfully good trick. Or well done to the person that developed the workings or the handling or the gimmick of it. It's less likely, but it could also be well done to the person, not to you, but to the person that came up with it. Or, the fourth point, it could be short for well done you, right? Well done you. You were amazing. But actually, that's about making me feel better, right? But reality is, I should be the one that makes them feel better for the experience, not the other way around. So it's kind of like the wrong thing. So if they say, well done you, or you were amazing, somehow I haven't quite reached them. The other day, anyone watch Bake Off here? Right, a few of you watch Bake Off, right? Does anyone know what I mean by the Paul Hollywood golden handshake? Right, okay, some of you know, right, okay. So anyway, after this show the other day, someone came up to me and he put out his hand and he said, I want to give you a Paul Hollywood golden handshake. And thank you. Thank you for making my granddaughter's party really special. So what is the difference? Oh, you seem to escape. Oh, right, escape. Oh, right, okay, fine, thank you. Right, well done versus thank you. What are the differences between a well done and a thank you? If you get a thank you, I think that means that you've touched them personally, right? You've made like a personal connection. You've had a moment, something that they feel that they receive something of value from that. Maybe you've enriched them. Maybe you've made them feel better for the experience. Maybe you've gone the extra mile, but you've made a connection of heart, and they have felt something. So David Devant, who was like the first president of the Magic Circle, often he used to be asked, you know, how was that done? How did you do that? And he used to say, magic, when they say, you know, how did you have, he used to say, it's done with kindness, right? And if it's done with kindness, or, you know, love or heart, people will feel that. If you're just going through the motions, you won't make that personal connection. So I've done thousands of hundreds of weddings. Hundreds of weddings. So when I'm getting ready for a wedding, it could be, oh, I'm just getting ready for another wedding, right? But it's not just another wedding for the person that's getting married. It is their wedding, right? And it's the same with a kid's party. It's not just another kid's party. I've done thousands of kids' parties. But for that child, that's their big day, right? And they have been, from writing out the invitations, right? Okay, to sending them out, to getting the replies, to doing the decorations, to seeing the people arrive, right? It starts to build for them, and it is their big day, right? It could be the biggest day of their year, and up until that moment, it could even be the biggest day of their life, right? So it's not just another birthday, right? It's not just another show. It's something that will actually last with them forever. And they'll look back at the photographs or the videos and they'll remember that. So I started thinking about, in my life, or what we do, what is the difference between a well done and a thank you, right? Not just for magic, but for everything. So next time we run an event, or you run an event, maybe it's Women's Federation for World Peace, right? Maybe it's Zegram running the German event. Maybe it's me giving a sermon, right? What do you want to hear afterwards? Do you want a well done? Or do you want a thank you? Yeah, it's better, isn't it? Right, okay? So, like you say, afterwards, like you say, you could have run the event. It could have been professionally put on. Maybe nothing went wrong. Maybe it went to clockwork. It was started on time and finished on time. That's not normal, but sometimes it happens, right, okay? But did you make a connection to them? Did they feel something? Did they get something? Did they feel that personal touch? Maybe, if we apply it to our work life, maybe you were tasked by your line manager. Can you do this for me? And you take it away, and you complete the task on time to the correct standard. What would you like at the end of it? Would you like a well done, or would you like a thank you? Maybe you've gone the extra mile. Maybe you've liaised with them all the way through the brief. Maybe you communicated well. You kept them informed of improvements, of setbacks. Maybe you've even improved the brief that you were given. But if you've really done that, I'm sure you'll get a thank you rather than a well done. Maybe at home, right? Bring it into the home, right? When your beloved, right, asks you, can you help me with this? Can you, help with the cooking, or can you do the vacuuming, or whatever like that? Do you want a well done afterwards? No, a thank you would be nice, right? So recently, I hosted a big dinner for Ukraine. And basically, I put on a couple of these, and it's for Ukrainians and their families that have been displaced, but also for their sponsors or their host families. Because actually, for the host families, it's a big deal, right? You've invited someone into your family, and it's like, for how long? Don't know. It's like, how long is a piece of string, right? It's 6 months already. It could be another 6 months. Who knows? And it's like when you move in with your beloved, there's a honeymoon period, isn't there? So everything is all hunky-dory and, it's all lovey-dovey. But then, when you actually, live together for a long time, you start to see the warts and all. And you start to think, that's not great. There's different bits and pieces that maybe rub you up the wrong way. And I'm sure if you've got someone walking into your family, there's a honeymoon period. And it's like, welcome, come in, do this. But then, like I say, there are maybe personality clashes. Maybe they fight with your children, right? And then there's kind of clash, or maybe they start to get on your nerves. It's not easy. And especially it's not easy because, like I say, you don't know how long it's going to go on for. They don't know how long it's going to go on for. So with Nalina, she helps me, and I send it out on Facebook and thing. Anyway, we put this on, and basically they can just come and be kids. And actually it's quite beautiful because in one sense, the kids can just network with other kids, the mums can network with other mums, and then afterwards, it kind of gives them this opportunity just to be kids. And the parents are taking pictures, right, which they send back to their, the people in the front line, their fathers. And afterwards, Nalina got up and she said, I want all the host sponsors to stand up. So all the people that were hosting these families, they stood up, and she said, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Because she knows what they're going through, and she knows how much it means to those people. So, like I say, thank you and well done. They're two different things, right? So same with daily life. When was it the last time you really touched somebody, right? Was it not because it was the right thing to do, but they felt it from your heart, and they felt it. So take a moment to think about when you went above and beyond and you made that connection of heart with somebody, right? And they really felt it. So not so long ago, Momoko sadly passed away, right? And obviously the community came together to support her and Bojida at that time. But there were probably, I don't know, anyone been to her flat? A few of you, right? Yeah, her flat was unreal. They had a spare room that you couldn't even get into, right? Because it was just so full of stuff, right? Anyway, 3 or 4 people really went above and beyond at that time. And they really supported her. I mean, and Bojida, right, at that time. And afterwards, I know their son, James, was truly, truly grateful. And it definitely was not a well done, but it was a thank you. Anyone know who this is? Huh? Nope. Huh? Yeah, Bill Shankly. Who was? Liverpool football manager, right? Okay. So there is a statue, Franklin, right? It's your team, right? Oh no, right, okay, fine, right, okay, right, fine, okay. So anyway, if you go to Anfield, there is a statue of Bill Shankly there, and it's got his name. Well, what is underneath his name? Anyone know what's written on that statue? Nope. Nope. It's not the number of titles he won. It's not the number of years that he was at Anfield. It's not the medals he won or the honours or the trophies. There are just some simple words underneath. And what they say is, you made the people happy. That's it, right? So your homework, just about done, right? Okay? Your homework is to write down the last time. This is for you to go away and think about. But your homework is to write down the last time that you felt kindness, right? Or a connection. Or when somebody felt it from you, right? And if I go back to like the Chonsongyong, right? And the Bible words and read them again, it says, therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. People will feel it, right? Also from the Chonsongyong, heaven is a place we cannot enter without establishing relationships of heart. It is the original nation, the nation of original nature, which can govern everything. It cannot belong to you based on personal feeling. Rather, it is based on deeply felt bonds of heart. Ultimately, it is where we are able to communicate on the level of heart rather than on personal sentiments. So, thank you, and God bless. Please join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Parent, thank you so much for being here together with us today. We're so grateful to be here together as one community, and really pray that we can understand, Father, what it is to reach out and touch people and go above and beyond and really make that personal connection of heart. People that feel that will always be touched, they'll always be moved, and they'll always be really, truly grateful. I pray that whatever we do, we can do with the right heart, the right mind, and the right motivation. I thank you for this time. I offer report this prayer now in my name, Simon Rosselli of a Blessed Central family. Aju.